Have you ever stopped to wonder how hard it really is to understand another person? Every day, I see people putting on smiles and playing the role of the perfect human, as if life were one big stage production. And yet, beneath that dazzling facade, how genuine are those smiles, really? In a world that often values appearance over essence, so many of us end up hiding behind masks that, if you look closely enough, reveal clues about who we truly are. Over time, I've discovered that you don't need a PhD in psychology to start unraveling these mysteries. In fact, there are two simple yet powerful signals that can tell you a great deal about someone's character. Today, I'm going to share those signals with you in a way that's honest, conversational, and infused with my own reflections. And as we journey together through these ideas, I hope you'll find that each insight not only helps you understand others better, but also encourages you to take a deeper look at yourself. Let's begin with the first signal: how someone treats those who can't possibly return the favor. Imagine yourself walking into your favorite local coffee shop, a cozy spot where the aroma of freshly ground beans mingles with soft chatter and clinking cups. As you wait in line, you observe the interactions around you. The barista greets every customer with a warm, genuine smile and a heartfelt "good morning." You notice that even on the busiest days, there is an effort to make each person feel seen and appreciated. Now, in stark contrast, imagine a person who, instead of reciprocating that kindness, snaps at the staff over a minor mistake. The busboy or the cashier might simply be doing their job, but the impatient remark or dismissive attitude speaks volumes about the speaker's true nature. I remember one rainy afternoon when I was waiting for my coffee. The world outside was a blur of umbrellas and wet pavements, and inside, I found a curious scene unfolding. A well-dressed man, clearly pressed for time, treated the waiter with an icy impatience that left me both puzzled and saddened. It wasn't just a moment of bad manners, it was as if his hurried, frosty words were a shield to mask deeper insecurities. He seemed to need to assert his superiority over someone who, in that moment, held no power over him. Then, there was a young woman in the same cafe who, despite the rush and the damp chill of the day, greeted the waiter with a smile that reached her eyes. Her simple, genuine act of kindness wasn't about following social niceties. It was a true acknowledgement of another human being doing their best in a small but important role. These everyday interactions, so easily overlooked, have taught me that our treatment of those who can't benefit us in return is a raw display of our character. When we interact with someone like the barista, the cashier, or even a stranger carrying heavy bags, our actions reveal our inner selves more clearly than when we're trying to impress someone who has something to offer us in return. Social psychology tells us that when we drop our defenses and stop performing for an audience, our real nature comes to light. It's like watching a play behind the scenes. When the stage lights dim, you see the true emotion and effort behind each action. This realization has had a profound impact on me. I began to pay more attention to these small moments. Instead of being solely absorbed in my own thoughts or the digital glow of my phone, I started noticing how people around me treated those who were, in many ways, invisible to the social hierarchy. How did the person behind the counter get treated when nobody was watching? What about the security guard at the back of a store, or the janitor who worked quietly after everyone had left? These details, seemingly insignificant, built a mosaic of human character that is often more telling than any carefully constructed persona. Reflecting on these moments also led me to ask a deeper question: how do I treat those who might not be able to give me anything in return? It's a humbling exercise in self-awareness. Every small act, a sincere thank you, a gentle nod, or even just an extra second of patience adds up to reveal the core of who I am. In fact, I recall a time when I found myself in a similar situation. I was running late for a meeting on a particularly hectic day, and in my rush, I nearly forgot to smile at the cashier who handed me my change. Later that day, I couldn't shake off the feeling that if I hadn't taken that moment, I might have missed a chance to connect, even in such a small way. That's when I realized that genuine kindness isn't about grand gestures. It's about those tiny moments that build bridges between us, one smile at a time. The beauty of these moments is that they are accessible to everyone. You don't need to be a social expert or a charismatic leader to offer a genuine smile or a kind word. What matters is the intention behind the act. And when we extend that intention to every regardless of their role or status, we create a ripple effect that can transform an entire day or even a life. So, next time you're in a cafe or on a busy street, take a moment to observe. Notice how a friendly greeting can change the tone of an encounter. Notice how someone's genuine kindness, even in a fleeting moment, can remind you of the beauty that exists in the everyday. Now, let's shift our focus to the second signal, the importance of keeping promises. At first glance, it might seem that keeping a promise is merely a matter of good manners. But as I've come to understand, it's much deeper, a reflection of one's integrity and respect for the bonds that tie us together. Think back to a time when someone made a small promise to you, a plan to meet for a coffee date, a commitment to help with a project, or even a pledge to check in when things got tough. When that promise is kept, it sends a quiet, reassuring message. You matter, and I value you. I vividly remember an autumn day when a dear friend, despite an unexpected downpour and the chaos of the moment, arrived right on time for our planned meeting. That simple act of showing up wasn't about being punctual. It was a reaffirmation of trust. It told me that even in the face of life's unpredictability, some things remain steadfast. Psychologists like Albert Bandura have long emphasized that our actions build our identity, not only how others see us, but how we see ourselves. Every promise kept is a tiny building block in the foundation of our character. It's like constructing a tower, one reliable block at a time. On the other hand, when promises are broken, it's as if a few blocks are taken away, leaving gaps in that structure and eroding the trust that holds everything together. I've had my share of experiences with promises, both made and broken. I once made a commitment to help a friend organize an important event. I knew it wasn't a grand promise in the scheme of things, but it was significant for both of us. Circumstances became challenging, and there were moments when I felt the pressure to back out. Yet, I chose to follow through. And you know what? That decision didn't just help my friend. It reinforced my belief in the importance of being reliable. It taught me that every small promise, no matter how insignificant it might seem, plays a critical role in building trust and deepening relationships. But let's be honest, we're all human, and sometimes life throws us curveballs that make keeping promises difficult. The real test isn't in never faltering, it's in how we handle those moments when we can't keep our word. Do we hide behind excuses, or do we own up to our shortcomings, apologize sincerely, and work to make things right? I remember a time when I failed to meet a commitment because of an unforeseen emergency. I felt awful about it, but what mattered most was how I addressed the situation afterward. I reached out, apologized, and explained what had happened. That honest conversation did more to repair the bond than if everything had gone perfectly. Brené Brown has talked about this kind of vulnerability, a willingness to show our imperfections, as a real strength, a sign that we value our relationships enough to be honest about our mistakes. It's also important to consider that keeping a promise isn't about grand gestures or monumental commitments. It's about the small, everyday assurances that build up over time. Whether it's as simple as arriving on time for a chat, following through on a minor favor, or sticking to a plan despite minor setbacks, these actions speak volumes about who we are. They tell the world, I'm someone you can count on. And when you build that reputation, trust grows, not because of the big moments, but because of all the little ones strung together like pearls on a necklace. I've learned that making promises realistically is just as important as keeping them. Over-promising, setting expectations too high, can lead to disappointment on all sides. I've seen friends and colleagues stress themselves out trying to meet commitments that were more about aspiration than practicality. There's a certain wisdom in recognizing your limits and offering only what you can truly deliver. It's like planning a road trip. If you try to cover too many miles in one go, you end up exhausted and frustrated. But if you pace yourself, enjoy the journey, and stick to a realistic schedule, the whole experience becomes richer and more fulfilling. The truth is, every promise kept, no matter how small, contributes to the story of our lives. It's a story built not on grand declarations, but on a series of quiet, consistent actions that add up to something meaningful. And when we honor our commitments, we're not just building trust with others, we're also nurturing our own sense of self-worth. It's a cycle that reinforces itself. The more you keep your word, the more you believe in your own integrity, and the more others come to rely on you. So, what do these two signals, how we treat those who can't return the favor and how we keep our promises, really tell us? They're like two sides of the same coin, each reflecting the deeper truths of who we are. When you see someone consistently kind to those who can't offer them anything in return, you catch a glimpse of their authentic self, someone who values connection over convenience. And when you witness someone honoring even the smallest commitment, you see the quiet strength of their character, built brick by brick through everyday actions. For me, these insights have transformed the way I view the world. They've taught me to look beyond the polished veneer of social niceties and to appreciate the raw, unscripted moments that truly define us. It's not about being judgmental or expecting perfection. It's about recognizing that every interaction, every small act of kindness, and every promise kept is a step toward building a richer, more genuine life. I've found that when I become more mindful of these everyday moments, my relationships grow deeper and more meaningful. Whether it's a friendly smile from a stranger or the quiet reliability of a close friend, each of these moments adds up to create a tapestry of trust and connection. And in a world that often feels chaotic and disconnected, these small acts of authenticity can be a source of profound comfort and inspiration. I also invite you to reflect on your own experiences. Think about the times when someone's genuine smile or a promise kept made all the difference in your day. How did those moments impact you? And then, consider how you might be contributing to that mosaic of human connection. Are you the person who rushes past the cashier without a word, or are you the one who takes a moment to show genuine gratitude? Every action matters, and every promise kept reinforces the foundation of trust that holds us together. Ultimately, understanding another person isn't about deciphering complex puzzles or unraveling abstract theories. It's about being present, observing the small, seemingly insignificant moments that reveal the true essence of who we are. It's about noticing the gentle acts of kindness that often go unnoticed, and the promises kept that build an unspoken bond between people. I've come to believe that life is a grand theater of everyday moments, each one a scene in the larger story of who we are. And just as every actor on stage has their moment to shine, every individual has the opportunity to reveal their true character through simple, heartfelt actions. Whether it's the way you treat someone who can't return a favor or the way you honor a small promise, these moments are your chance to connect on a deeper level with others and with yourself. As we wrap up this reflection, I want to invite you to join me on this ongoing journey of genuine human connection. If these insights resonate with you, if you're ready to look beyond the surface and explore the deeper layers of what it means to be truly human, then I'd love for you to become a part of our community on Minddose. Here, we dive into the ideas that challenge our perspectives, encourage us to grow, and remind us that every small act of kindness matters. Next time you're out in the world, whether in that bustling cafe or on a quiet street, take a moment to observe. Look at how the barista greets each customer, or how someone patiently helps a stranger with a heavy load. And when you make a promise, no matter how small, remember that you're building a tower of trust, one reliable block at a time. These are the moments that define our lives, the moments that reveal the true beauty of our shared humanity. Thank you for taking the time to join me in this reflection. I hope that as you go about your day, you'll carry these thoughts with you, letting them inspire you to be kinder, more attentive, and more true to yourself. Remember, every genuine smile and every promise kept is a step toward a more connected and compassionate world. Until we meet again in the next video, keep your eyes open, your heart warm, and your spirit true to the art of being human. I look forward to exploring more of these ideas with you on Minddose, where every day offers a new opportunity to learn, to grow, and to connect in the most authentic way possible. See you soon, and thank you for being part of this journey toward understanding ourselves and each other a little better, one small, meaningful moment at a time.